Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In this episode, we're looking at tables. So there are times when you want to create tables to display your information, and this is what we're going to learn right now. Now, in the previous tutorial, we had an external style sheet like this one, but we will bring back our content to the main page, and instead of having an external one, we're just going to use a style tag like we had done previously, like so. And let's move everything over like that. Okay, great. So we don't need the other file, it can be deleted, the style.css. Now this is all important, but let me put these things in order like this. Now, what I forgot to mention is the proper way to begin a web page. So all this you're seeing here is the content of the page, but there's information that helps the browser to do its job a little bit better. So for example, if we go back to our page here, I'll refresh, nothing major here. If you look at the title here at the top, you see that it just shows the file name. But on the Facebook one here, if I click on the Facebook one, you see that it says Facebook login or sign up. That's much cleaner than what we are looking at here. So how does it know what to display on the tab there? Well, we use a tag to do so. So I can put this tag really anywhere. I can say, as long as I call it the title tag like this, and say my website, like so. Okay, so that's the title tag, and just like that, if I come back here and refresh, you see that the title changes to my website. And if you look closely, the title tag is nowhere to be seen here, so you won't see the text from the title tag anywhere. So this really doesn't matter where it is still going to work as long as it's not inside some other tags that may interfere with its work. It'll still work like this. Okay, so you see the title there. However, this is not very good practice at all. So there's a proper way we should do things that is acceptable as good practice. So I'm going to cut everything from here and just start typing HTML like this, and then Sublime Text will suggest this. When I click on it or press enter, this is what I get. So this is the proper way to display a web page. This is like the bare bones situation. So this doc type HTML is just telling the browser that this is HTML content. Then there's this tag, which is the HTML tag. This is the opening and this is the closing. So usually I can select these items in here and tab them like this, so that at least it's clear to see that they are all inside the HTML tag. So that's just showing that whatever is in here is HTML. Then we have a head, and then we have a body. So the body is what contains everything we want to edit. So this is where I will paste my other content, like so. But of course we need to show that they're inside the body, so let me use the tab key. This has nothing to do with functionality, it's just easier for me to see the content like this, because at the end of the day all this tabbing is removed before running the software in the browser. So it's really meaningless whether you leave spaces or not. It's just for human readability sake. So there it is. So we know things are inside the body tag like this. Okay, but then we have something more interesting, which is the head tag here. So content in the head tag never shows up. It's just for the browser to use. For example, this one, meta viewport with initial scale is equal to 1. This is information to tell the browser that when you're using a phone, just make sure that the width, you adjust the website to the width of the device. So this is for responsive design in there. Okay, and yes, actually I forgot to put responsive design somewhere here. This is insane, but yeah, that will be part of the tutorial anyway. So at some point, let's see here, the title is here again. So let's do my website like so. So this is much cleaner than before. So if I now refresh, you see nothing has changed, but there's a title there, which is nice. So body is what contains everything. Now let's try and add a table here. So I'm going to remove what I don't need. For example, the block quote, or maybe let me just add it to the end. Why not, right? So I'll just put a table tag like this. So down here, table. Now if I try to view this, I won't see anything. Actually, let me try it right at the top so that I don't have to scroll down every time. I will leave this text header up to here, then I will put my table. Okay, so inside table here, the way I need to display information is to make rows inside a table. So I will do a tag like this, tr, that's the table row tag. So if I do that, that's table row. So this represents a single row. Now a row can have columns, and yeah, actually it just has columns in there. So columns of data. So in this case, I want to put headers in this table row. So I'll say th, which is header. And let's say these are people. I'll say name, and then I will duplicate this and say age, like this. And then maybe some more. Name, age, gender, like this. So this is a table, simple and straightforward. This is one row, and the row has several columns, column 1, column 2, column 3. So if I come back here and refresh, you'll see this like so. So it doesn't really look like a table, but it is. You will notice this if I duplicate this row, okay? And then instead of using table head, I will use table data. TD, like that. So this shows that these are header tags, and this is just normal data. So if I now do this, you see that they are in order. You see this one comes in bold, this one comes not in bold. So it just recognizes that this is a header and this is not. So I can put actual content here, some names, and then I'll put age, maybe 12, gender, male. And this, remember that this is one row, so I can as well do it like this. Sorry about that. And like this. So it's really just a single row. So I can duplicate this a couple of times and put other names, Mary Johnson, and gender, and maybe 30, 34. These are females. Same thing here, like so. Okay, so now if I refresh, you see that it kind of resembles a table of some sort, because you see these things have moved to accommodate this line here. But we need a proper way to see what's going on here. So let's add some borders to this content. So we can do so using styles, right? Now I can go ahead and put classes on these things, or IDs, so that I can target them in the styling process, which is right here. So usually this styling area should be above every other thing, because styles work better when they're before the content. So I can put the styles right in between the head and the body tag right here. So this is valid. I'm just going to move this one notch and move that one like this. Okay, so we have styles in here. This is where we'll put all our styles. So I want to be able to style the table. Now, instead of putting IDs here, since there's only one table in this whole page, I can just target, I could put classes like class and then say table row or something. But instead, I want to just target the tag name itself. So any table, which is this tag name. Now you can style several things at once by putting a comma. So just like I say my div here, I can also put comma and say another like this and put a dot as well there, which means these styles will apply to both classes. Okay, so in the same way, we can apply several the same classes to the same styles to several tag names. So say table, table row, and table data. So all of these will get whatever styles I put here. So in this case, I'm going to say border. I want to give them a border. So I can select a border width or a border style or a border color. So let's try a border style and say this is solid. So I don't want to be, there are several options. There's dotted, there's dashed. So just by pressing D, I can see all the possible solutions. So I just want solid. Then I want a border. So I already have border style. I want a border width, which is 1 pixel. So you can put whatever pixels you want here. And also I want a border, what else? There's a style, there's a width, there's a border color as well. So border color, I want it to be gray. So just by doing that, I will create borders on the table like this. Look at that. Very nice. Now, instead of doing all this, I can just write border and combine all of these and they will work still. So if I say border, I'll put solid, it will know this one is the border style. If I put 1 pixel there, it will know this is the border size. And if I put gray, it will know that's the color. Now the order doesn't really matter. If I just do this like that, it will still look the same. And I think the order doesn't matter really. Let me try it like this. Let's see if that works. Yeah, it still works. So it will recognize what each one of these is. So the order doesn't really matter. And after that, you see the borders here, they leave a space between here. That's not what I want. So I can collapse that by saying border collapse and tell it to collapse like that. Okay, so collapsed borders, there we go. Very nice. Then I can put a margin around this table or around any all of these. Let's see, if I say margin 10 pixels, what happens? Let's see that in action. And then I can say padding. Now padding is like the reverse of margin. It's the inside. So this determines the wall, the space between the content and the edge of the element itself. So I will say padding 10 pixels as well, so that there is a bit more space between the lines and the content. So there we go. At least we have this, and then we can go ahead and style the font, etc, etc. Now to change the actual font, we have to use a property called font family. Now because everything is in the body, we can just use body as the main thing. So I'll just say body like that and just say font family. Okay, and the font family I want to use is Tahoma. So you can use any fonts, Arial, etc. Now if you put a comma and then you say, for example, impact like that, oops, impact, it means if this font is not found on the user's, because these fonts are taken from the user's computer, even though they're on your browser. So if this font is not found, just use this other one. So you can put as many, maybe 4 or 5 on a list here, so that if one is not found, you have a preferred second. So here I will refresh and everything has changed like so. So that's how you make a table. So the table can go this way or that way. Now there are times when you might want to merge columns, like I want to merge this column into this one, for example. Or let's say there's mail and then there's one more that says address. Let's come down here. So if I want to add another column, I'll add it here and say address like so. And if I come back here, you see a misalignment. So there's address, there's these, but they're empty. So maybe one of these has an address. Let's say this one, but these two don't. So I can just say add the address here, mail, Cassia Road. So we have at least one of them that has this, but this one doesn't have, and we want to join these two. We want this section to be 1 and this one as well. So let's try this one. We just have to change the column span here on this one. So if I go here to this one that has female, this is the table data, right? I can just write core span like this. This will change the column span to 2, meaning this data object is going to span 2 columns. So I'm going to refresh and you see that line is gone. So that's how you can connect those two like that. There's also row span as well, where you can join 2 rows, I guess. So you can do that by putting row span here, table row. Row span, maybe 2. So let me move this row span all the way to the top there. And let's see what happens. So as you can see, it has joined these ones here and moved the other one to the other side. So in this way, you can really design a table of your choice by just selecting. You don't really need to put 2. You can put 4, 5, depending on how many columns you want that thing to span, just like this. So you can cut these lines in between the way we are cutting here, cutting there, by just using row span and core span, just like that. All right, so hopefully this was educational to you on how to create tables in HTML. Now, some tables may have extra content like T body and T head like this. So sometimes they'll put T head like this, which will signify that this is the head part. And then you may have T body like that, which you see T body like so. Same thing, no big deal. Browsers are clever these days. They can recognize which part is the body and which one is the head pretty easily. So you don't see a difference here whatsoever. All right, so hopefully you have learned something about tables in here, and I will see you in the next video.